Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. We are back and better than ever, and we are going to start studying probability and statistics just a little bit. And today, in the background, we have the great David Bowie and the classic song Changes, and we are studying lists, or we're going to talk about lists, stats, graphs, and plots on the ridiculously awesome TI Nspire CX. You may hear some rainfall in the background. Hopefully that will be okay. So let's get to it, shall we? Wait a second. So there you see our title. Forget the part 5. I did this to show you a set of data. And what we're going to do is enter that data into our TI Nspire CX. Couple of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you, I don't know if it's the easiest way, they're all about the same, but I'm going to show you one way and we'll talk about more ways later. So, you fire up your Nspire. From now on, you should never use Scratchpad. You should always go into a document, okay? Scratchpad, it just doesn't, sometimes it's a little bit cranky is the best way I'll describe it. So just go into a document. Click, you can click or just press 1 for new document. And for this exercise, we're just going to add a calculator. Okay, and let me move this over a bit and see if I can show you the data here. And I am just going to enter in that data. Okay, so I am going to enter in this data, and I need to enter it within brackets. And the brackets, I don't think you can see that they're brackets very well on this screen, but on your calculator you can. Right above this right parenthesis, well, actually, these are brackets, and these are those squiggly things that we use for sets. They're called brackets as well. They're just a different kind. So in order to get to them, I have to hit Control and then bracket. Okay. So I need to enter in this data, and let me just move it over here so you can see it a little bit. Okay. Then we'll go here. And I'll start entering. So I just hit 17, and then the comma is right here, comma, and then 17, comma, 21, I think was the next one, is that right? Oh no, 24, so I would hit backspace, 24, comma. Now there are 40 pieces of data, so I'm not going to make you watch me enter 40 pieces of data. If you have the TI Nspire CX installed on your computer, then you can do the same thing if you have homework or something. Of course, on a test, you'll have to use the Nspire. So I highlight all of that, I copy it, and then I'm going to go back to my Nspire. I got to get rid of all this because within the brackets, I'm going to enter all that data. I'm going to enter all that data. It's not working. Let me copy this. Go back again, and I'm entering all that data. Boom, chugga-lugga. Boom, and there I have it. Okay, so I have all the data entered, and now I want to store it as a variable. So I am going to, here's my variable button, but I want to store it as something. So I'm going to hit Control, Store, and as you can see, the Nspire says, oh, okay, what you just did, you want to store it as something. And I can type in any name that I want, but I happen to know that these are NBA, the top 40 NBA scoring averages rounded to the nearest whole number for the 2014-2015 season. So I am going to call it NBA, and we can't have spaces. So I'm going to say SC. Oh, where's the O? Oh, where's QWERTY when you need it? RING. Answer NBA scoring, enter. Okay, so now it's stored under NBA scoring. I could have used just one letter like D or N or whatever, but I just wanted to do NBA scoring. So now maybe I want some statistics for this. So I'm going to go to Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, and I want one variable statistics. So I'm going to hit Enter. Number of lists, there's only one list that I'm interested in. I'm going to click OK. And then it's asking, what's my X list? What list are you talking about? And if you just click this right arrow, the only thing I have stored is in my variable. It's NBA scoring. And then I can hit OK. And look at the awesomeness that appears. Okay, look at that. And I'm going to copy all of that. I wonder if I expand this, if it'll show me no more. It won't. So I'm going to copy all this. And we're going to talk about what it means real quick. So you know, boom, and then, okay, that's all the rest of it. Okay, boom, and here we go. Back to the thing, and I'll put that right underneath. Okay, so what do all these mean? Well, the X bar, let me move this over a little bit. Okay, so the X bar, this is the mean right here. That's the symbol for mean. Okay. This is the Greek letter sigma, and it stands for the sum of all data. Okay, so that's the sum of all the data points that we had. This is the sum of all data squared. I'll just put a square up here. It's not like we added it. This is not 778 squared. It's each individual piece of data squared, and then we add them up. We use that to calculate standard deviation. And actually, this is the standard deviation. This is beyond the scope of this course. Both of these are standard deviations. One is for a population and one is for a sample. As you move further, we'll be using this one, but we're not going to talk about that now. This is the number of data, and I told you it was the top 40, so there were 40 pieces of data. So this is number of data, okay? This is self-explanatory. It's the minimum piece of data. This is the first quartile, and we'll be talking about that later. It's just enough for you to know that it's the first quartile. This is the median of the data, 18.5, and you should know what median is, the middle piece of data, and 18.5 should make sense because we have an even number. The third quartile is right here. Again, we'll talk about that more later. And the maximum data is 28. And this actually stands for the sum of each piece of data minus the mean squared. So this total comes from taking each piece of data, subtracting the mean, and then squaring it. So doing that 40 times and then adding them all up. That is beyond the scope of this course, and that's another thing we use to calculate standard deviation. But you should be familiar with all of these. Okay, know how to read that. And again, that is on your calculator, and you can just scroll up and down and get all that awesome information about all of this data. The top 40 scoring averages last year in the National Basketball Association. Okay, so some other things that we can do with this data. Okay, so we're going to add a page. This is the power of documents. And to add a page to this document, we do Control plus page, and we're going to do data and statistics. And right away, it's already linked to all of this data. It's the only thing that it knows. So it has all these data points, and it looks like it's meaningless. It's actually not meaningless, but right now it's meaningless to this. But I can scroll over and click to add a variable. And the only thing I have in there, the only thing I have stored is NBA scoring. So you click once, and then if you click on NBA scoring, watch the awesomeness that's about to occur. Boom, chugga-lugga-lugga, you get a dot plot. Okay, you get a dot plot. And what you see here is that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people average 16 points per game, and then a whole bunch more average 17, and I think you get the idea. And again, these are rounded to the nearest whole number, because I know in the stats they go to the nearest 10. We can also display this data by, since we're already in a stat plot here on the data and stats page, we go menu, plot type, and we will go to, let's go to a histogram, because that's an easier transition. It looks about the same, but it just changes it to a nice little histogram, and that's a little bit easier way to see how many people average a certain amount. So look what happens when I do my cursor right there. If you look, I have 17 to 18, and the 17 has a bracket to its left, and the 18 has a parenthesis. The 17 means that the 17 is included in the range. I'm sorry, the bracket means the 17. This bracket right here, oops, you can't see it now. That bracket means the 17 is included in the range, but the 18 is not because of the parenthesis. So what that tells us is anyone who averaged between 17 and 18, including 17 but not 18, the number of people were 12. Right here, this 12-point thing, which I can't show you. I can't move my cursor and show you. It says 12 points. It just means it has 12 points of data. And it has nothing to do with the number of points scored in the NBA. Okay? So what it comes down to is 12 people average 17 points. And if I go over here, 4 people average 22 points because 23 isn't included and we didn't go to the nearest 10th. And let's see, 3 people averaged 24 points, and then the highest average was 28 points per game, okay? And then the other plot we're going to be interested in is the box plot. And that's how you make a box plot. And maybe you're familiar with this, maybe you're not, but you will be very soon. This video is just to show you how to use the TI Nspire CX to generate all these. And that is all because we made a document and we did not use this horrible thing, the scratch pad. Ew. How do you get back? You go back home right here and you go to your current document and there it is. Everything's nice and beautiful. And that is all I have for now. And with that, we're going to see how Mr. Bowie is going with changes. Hope you enjoyed it. And I am out.